Hello viewers, welcome to the first among a series of visual tutorials to get you started with programming in Python language. This will be a short session to help you with the basics like the features of the Python language and how to get Python to work on your machine. With that covered, let's get into your first lesson on Python. This session covers the following topics: Introduction to Python, the features, and setting up Python on your machine. Introduction to Python. The Python programming language was developed in the late 80s and it was derived from a number of other programming languages like C, C++, Smalltalk, and a few others. It is a high-level, interpreted, object-oriented programming language. Well, that's quite a few heavyweight terminologies in a breath. Well, we are here to break things down for you. A high-level programming language is one that may use or is close to natural human language or contains elements from natural language, thus making developing programs simpler. As an example, the word print might indeed be meaningful to a high-level programming language. An interpreted language enables you to run the exact code you wrote without having to rely on someone else to convert your code into a language spoken by your computer, which is the zeros and ones. This someone else being a compiler in most cases. More about compilers later. An object-oriented programming language treats everything like real-world objects. A car, in object-oriented terms, is an object. An employee is an object. Both of these know how to get stuff done, like drive or work. You write code to ask these objects to get the stuff done. This is a pretty simplified explanation and might sound really silly for a non-beginner. Our intention is to get all the complexity out at the beginning, and we'll definitely be diving deep into these concepts a little while later. Moving on to features. Python is simple, which means it is easy to learn and read. Now, we touched on the word print a while ago when we discussed high-level languages. The word print does indeed have a meaning in Python. Now, as your first example, the word print followed by some text within quotes lets you get these texts appear on the screen. We have a short demo for you. The word print followed by a few text within quotes and hit enter. We can see the text "Hello Python" printed on the screen. Simple, isn't it? Moving on to the next feature, that is portability. Python can run on very many hardware platforms and isn't restricted to being used in a single type of machine. Python works like charm on huge commercial enterprise server to a handheld device. All of this due to its being open source, which is the third feature. By open source, we mean anybody with enough knowledge can contribute to the source code and make the language better by sharing and making changes to the code. There is a strong community backing Python that helps keep it nice and strong every day. We shall touch on the word nice to cover the final feature on our list, that is libraries. A huge collection of libraries in Python takes your work off from your shoulders. since they help you write less code. Python has tons of these written by people in the Python community who are way smarter than you and me. Let's move on to how we set up the Python programming language on our machines. On Macs, like the one we are using now, you are good to go by typing in the word Python after firing up the terminal. Now we will follow this up with a simple exercise to demonstrate this concept. Let us begin by taking the terminal. To begin with Python and to fire up Python interpreter, I type in Python and press enter. I am into the Python interpreter, and in order to start printing my first program, that is, I want to print the text hello world. I type in print followed by hello world in quotes and press enter. You can see the word hello world printed on the screen. Moving on, most Linux distributions follow the same procedure, so we have that covered as well. Addition to that, we have a tip for you that in Macs and Linux, Python 2.7 comes pre-installed. But for Windows, you have an additional work. The Windows users who are tuned in can visit the URL you see on your screen and download the 32-bit or the 64-bit installers, which will take care of rest of the procedures. We have a screen grab from the website, and you'll have to specifically install either of the two options listed within the rectangular box. With that, we are wrapping up the first session. We hope we've got you excited about Python, and we look forward to meeting you the next time. Until then, it's goodbye.
Hello guys, today I'll take you through Introduction to Programming Language and Python Programming Language. So before we get to know about Python Programming Language, what actually is a programming language? Any ideas? Okay, here we go. A programming language is nothing but a language which is used to communicate with the computer, so which is nothing but a machine. There are many programming languages available in the market like Java, C++, C Hash, Perl, .NET, etc. And Python is one among them. These days, Python is emerging as popular day by day because of its simplicity and easy to use and easy to learn, and also we can able to learn it in a short period of time, and we can able to code in a short period of time. All right. Basically, the programming languages are categorized into two types. Uh, One is interpreter languages and one is compilation languages. Okay, let's know about interpreter language. All right. So, what actually mean by interpretation? Interpretation is the process of executing your program line by line. It means one statement at a time, directly at runtime. So this was an interpreter which reads your programming code line by line and executes it directly at runtime into a language that can be understood by the machine. So this was your final execution code. All right. So interpreter is the one which does this task of executing your code line by line. All right. So this is all about interpreter. What actually mean by compiler? or the compilation language. All right. So compilation is nothing but the process of converting the entire programming code you have written into the language that can be understood by the computer, which is nothing but in the form of 0 comma 1s. A machine can able to understand a language which is binary, that is 0 comma 1. So this is a code that can be understood by the computer, and this is the final execution code uh, that a computer can able to understand. So this is all about compilation. So compilers and interpreters are the two important uh, topics that can be related to a programming language. And some of the compiler languages are Java, C++, .NET, C hash, etc. And some of the interpreter languages are Python, Ruby, PHP, Perl, etc. All right, so let's come to Python. So what is Python? Python is an interpreted high-level object-oriented programming language which is very easy to learn. So python.org is the main official website of the Python, where you have tons of material and a notion of Python topics. So this website contains the Python software with various versions. So from downloads link, you can able to see there are various versions of Python software available to download for different versions of operating systems. So you can able to see that you can able to download Python software for Linux and Mac and other operating systems. Python 3 was a recent release that has many new features and functionalities, and Python 2.7 was most widely used and popular. So before you get familiar with Python, just try to use this Python 2.7. So so that's all, guys. This is the introduction of Python programming language, and also introduction to programming language. In our next tutorials, let's 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 get in deep with Python, like lists, I mean the data types, syntax, etc. Thank you, guys.
Hi everyone, let's get started. But before diving into Python programming, let's decide which IDE we will use for coding. There are several IDEs like NetBeans, PyCharm, Jupyter, Sublime, Visual Studio Code, etc. So let's select one from the 10 best IDEs for Python programmers. And I'm going to select the ninth one, Sublime Text 3. The Sublime Text 3 is one of the most powerful cross-platform lightweight code editors till date, and for beginners it is the best IDE to use. So let's install it. And before installing, I'm going to show you my system configuration. I'm using elementary 64-bit Ubuntu right now, and all installations will be done based on this configuration. So let's install Synaptic Package Manager first. It will help you to download all the related files of a particular package simultaneously. So since I have installed Synaptic Package Manager, let's go to Synaptic Package Manager and install Sublime. And in the search bar, just type for Sublime, and it will list all the related items of Sublime package, and just click on this apply button and again this apply button, and it will download the files for us. And before doing all the installations and downloads and all, just make sure that you are connected to the internet. So the Synaptic Package Manager have done its job. So we have installed Sublime in our system. And the selection of the Synaptic Package Manager or software sender for downloading purpose is up to you. You can select anyone from this, and Synaptic Package Manager is bit simple than software sender, I think, and it's completely up to you. You can select anyone according to your convenience. So let's go to the Sublime text right now. This is the Sublime text or Sublime IDE, and I have selected Python language, and here we can see all the languages that are supported by Sublime text. And since we are coding in Python, we are selecting Python, and over here in the right corner in the upper position we can see something. This is nothing but just the mini map. Mini map shows all the codes in a miniature forms that we are typing in this big console. That's it. And if that is disturbing you, then just go to the view and hide minimap. And we have got many other options over here. File options, new file open, folder, etc. Edit options and all. And using all these options and this console, we can do many things. But the programming in this IDE in Python will be started by the next tutorial onwards. So that's all for now. Keep watching and thank you.
Hello guys, in the previous video we came to know about programming language and Python. In this video we'll implement or execute a simple Python hello world program. Hope you have Python installed on your computer from this link from the official Python website. Hope you have you are using 2.7 or whatever the version you are very convenient with. Alright, in Python we can execute code in two ways. One is by using the interpreter and one is by using Python scripts. Basically, a file is called Python script or Python module if it ends with .py. It means Python files ends with an extension of .py. But if you have a very large code to be executed, it's better to write a script with .py extension and execute it for your convenience. All right. So first of all, let's implement a simple hello world program by using the interpreter. Open the terminal. I have already opened the terminal. Now enter into Python interpreter. How we can do that? Simple. Just type Python without any input arguments to it and press enter. That's all. Now you are into Python interpreter. These three arrow marks shows you that tells you that you entered into Python interpreter, and now we can execute whatever the code we want here. So let's implement a simple Python hello world program. Boom. That's all. That's all in Python to print or to execute a simple hello world. So let's understand what this is all. Print. What is print? Print is nothing but Python built-in function that prints any data from Python program, and hello world is a string. So both the built-in function and the string combines and formed a Python program. So this is all about a simple hello world program in Python. We can also implement this Python hello world program using Python scripts or modules, as we have discussed as a second point in this. So let's implement this hello world program using script. Exit out of interpreter. Create a Python file or a module. We have created a Python module with an extension of .py. Let's open that. Now, for now, it was a blank file, and let's write something, some program in it. So this was same as the one we have implemented on the terminal. Now we have written our simple program. Now how to execute it? Go to terminal, use the word Python and file name. There you go. You can able to see the string hello world that we have printed from the Python script. That's all in Python. So you can able to execute programs in two ways. One is interpreter and one is Python scripts. Let's do some meaningful. Uh, Print this hello world string by using some functions. Don't worry about these functions, data type, etc. We'll get into deep with these topics in our next tutorials. For now, let's print this hello world using Python function. All right, we have written a simple function called hello world, and inside that we are printing the word hello world. And def is nothing but the notation in Python which indicates that this was a function. And finally, we are calling this function to print this hello world. Let's execute this file from terminal. Same as we did before. There you go. You can able to see the string hello world that we have print, that we have executed, or that we have that we intended to print that from function. All right. So we have seen of executing this program through interpreter and also through Python scripts. There are many ways to implement or to execute this program using functions with taking different arguments, etc. So in the next tutorial, we'll know something in deep like data types, syntax, etc. That's all for this tutorial, guys. See you in the next tutorial. Thank you very much. Hello guys, in the previous tutorial we have seen how to execute a simple hello world program, and in this video tutorial we learn something about variable. So what is mean by a variable? Any ideas? Okay, cool. A variable is nothing but a storage location or a memory location where your data will be stored. You can save whatever type of value in it, and a variable value can be changed on assignment dynamically on runtime during program execution. So how to create a variable in Python? So this was the syntax of creating a variable in Python. It was nothing but, for example, let's say this following statement. We are creating a variable name called word and assigning a value hello world to this variable called word. When you print this word, as we had it in the previous tutorials, you will get hello world as printed. So let's check out some examples programmatically in terminal as well as scripts. Uh, and as of now, let's check or let's see how this variable declaration is done in other programming languages like Java. Here, the equal to sign is used to assign values to variables. Let's take Java into consideration. Here, we have created a variable called number variable and assigned a value of 10 to this variable, and the data type as int. This is the most important part in other languages. Uh, Now the number variables stores only integer values in it because we have declared this number variable of data type called int. Similarly, in case of other statements, for example, a string variable, we have created a string variable and assigned a value hello world to this string variable of data type as string, and hence string variable stores only uh, string data type values. Similarly, with the case of float variable. But in case of Python, there is no need of declaration. I mean, there is no need to declare the data types of variables in before. I mean, There is no declaration of variables needed, and you can create them dynamically at runtime in the program. Do you got what I mean? Okay, here you go. In case of Java and C other programming languages, you need to explicitly declare what type of data you need to store in the variable. It means variable declaration is needed according to data type, as we have discussed in this example. Hence, it is mandatory to declare the data type in case of other programming languages. But as we have discussed in case of Python, there is no need of explicit declaration of data types when creating or declaring the variables. We'll see that in this following example. Let's take this first statement. We have declared a variable called integer variable and assigned a value 10 to it. And similarly with the other variables, in case of string variable, we have assigned a string called hello world to this string variable, and uh, value of 120.00 to this float variable. So how does Python know what type of data type to be assigned to this particular variable? So that's an interesting question and interesting feature of Python. So Python itself identifies what type of data type according to the value you assign to this variable dynamically at the runtime. For example, you have assigned a 10 value to this integer variable, and during runtime, during the execution of the program, Python identifies the data type of this integer variable based on the data you have assigned to this particular variable. Similarly, in case of this string variable, Python identifies the data type of this string variable as string based on the value you have assigned. Since it was a string, Python identifies the data type as string. Similarly with other variables, float variable and the list variable. Let's implement this examples programmatically through interpreter and also through script. Open the terminal and open the interpreter. Okay, we are into interpreter. Let's create some variables with the different data type values. Okay, here we have created 5 variables A, B, C, D, E, F and assigned different data type values to it. In case of A, we have assigned an integer value to A, and hello world. In case of B, we have assigned a string called hello world to B, and similarly with other variables C, D, E, F. And for F, E, and D, these are the list data type, and this was dictionary data type, and this is a tuple data type. Don't worry about this. We'll dig into deep when in the next tutorials for these kind of data types. Okay, so let's print these variables. There you go. Python prints all the values of the variables that was stored in their memory locations. Okay, so you can able to identify, you can able to ask Python what type of data a particular value stored in it by using a Python function called type. For example, let's take the variable A. You want to check what was the exact data type of that particular variable A. You can do so by using a function called type. So you can able to see here the data type of that particular variable was int, since you have assigned an integer value to that A. Similarly, we can able to check the data type of all the other remaining variables b, and it was string. Since we have assigned a string value to the variable b. Similarly, we can able to check the types of all the remaining data types. Yes. There you go. The data type of C was a float. The data type of D was a list. The data type of E was a dictionary. The data type of a variable F was tuple. So in this way, you can able to declare the variables and assign different data types of variables to that particular variables, and Python does the rest of identifying the data type of that particular variable. And you can also able to check what type of data a particular variable stored by using a Python built-in function called type. And one more important thing was during declaring or initialization of the variables, you need to take care of not using the Python default keywords. Okay, here Python comes with a list of keywords that can be used out of the box from Python. Let's see what are the list of keywords that are available from Python. So these are the list of keywords that comes with Python out of the box, and assert, break, etc. So when you are declaring a particular variable, be careful not to use a word from one of these lists. If you do so, Python will throw an error of you cannot use that. Let's check this. See, you can see Python has thrown an error. You can't able to use that, and the error was syntax error, invalid syntax. Because you can't able to use the default Python keyword as a variable here. So Python knows what type of data you stores in a variable during runtime based on the type of value you assign to it. In Python, you can also do some multiple assignments. Okay, so you can understand by an example. From this statement, we have created three variables a, b, c at a time and assigned a value 1 to it. So this is called multiple assignment. We can assign a value to multiple variables at a time in Python. Similarly, you can able to check what type of data it has stored. As I have showed previously, it was int. When you when you check this type for other variables b and c, and the same type was integer. And also you can perform some arithmetic operations on the above variables if you would like to. For example, create an integer variable. Okay. Now you can able to perform some arithmetic operations like plus, minus, integer on the above variables that we have declared or created. Let's do that. There you go. We have the output of 30 when we added that above two variables. And the important point to note here was you can do or you can perform arithmetic operations on the same data type variables. For example, here into variable and into variable 2 are the variables of data type integers, since we have assigned 10 and 20, which are the integers. You cannot perform arithmetic operations on two different data type. For example, you can't add an integer variable and a string variable. Let's check that. Now you can't perform arithmetic operations on the above on these two variables since there are variables of two different data types. Sorry, actually you need to create a string variable with a string value, and so that it will become a string data type. Let's check what we have created. 30. So we have assigned 30 to integer variable. Let's check the value of string variable. Hello world. Let's try to add these two. Now, there you go. Python has thrown an error saying that your unsupported operands, you can't add two different data types, integer and string. So this was an error which was called as a type error. There are many types of errors in Python which are, which comes out of the box. You can able to learn them in our future tutorials. So, arithmetic operations can be performed on same data type variables, but not different data type variables. You can perform different arithmetic operations like multiplication, addition, and subtraction, etc. Okay, guys, that's all for this video, and I hope you enjoyed and learned something about variables and variable types and multiple assignments and checking checking the actual data type of a particular variable you have created. Let's do something important. Let's learn something important stuff in our next video tutorials. Thanks, thanks very much, guys. Hello guys, today we'll try to learn about operators in Python. So what are operators? Operators are nothing but symbols which perform some processing of data. It performs some data processing. So there are many types of operators in Python like I have shown here. And they are arithmetic operators, comparison operators, assignment operators, bitwise operators, logical operators, membership operators, and identify operators. Let's enter into comparison operators. So what are comparison operators? Comparison operators are used to compare the values on both sides of it. They are also called as relational operators. So some of the the comparison operators are greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to, and not equal to can also be written as another can also be written with another symbol, not equal to. Let's see an examples for this. A is equal to 9, B is equal to 8. Let's initially first check greater than. Whether A is greater than B. True, of course 9 is greater than 8. And also check less than. A is less than B. False, of course. A is greater than, B, and 8 is less than 9, and hence it is false. Now, let's check greater than or equal to. A is greater than or equal to B. I'm sorry, we shouldn't give any space between those operators. Yes. Less than or equal to B. Of course, it is false. And what was the remaining on it? Equal to. Whether 9 is equal to 8? Was that true? Let's check it out. So please observe here. If we use single equal to, then we are then it indicates that we are assigning a value to a variable a. But if we use double equal to, it means that we are checking the value of both variables here. Okay, so and next, not equal to, a is not equal to b. Was that true? Of course it is true. 9 is not equal to 8. And the not equal to has two symbols. I mean, this one and another one. Let's also check with that. Yes, of course it's true. First of all, we'll try to learn arithmetic operators. So what are arithmetic operators? Arithmetic operators are used to perform arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, exponent. So let's dig into interpreter and try to perform some examples. Let's open the interpreter. Right. Python. Alright, so we are into interpreter now. So instead of this Python interpreter, let's enter into interactive Python interpreter. So interactive Python interpreter and interpreter are same, but interactive interpreter is nothing but a normal Python interpreter with steroids on it. I mean, it has various new functionalities and attributes, etc. stuff to use for our convenience. So let's enter into interactive Python interpreter. Basically, for normal interpreter, we'll type just Python. But in case of interactive interpreter, we'll need to use I before Python word. So this is nothing but interactive session. All right. So we are into Python interpreter now. Let's know about arithmetic operators. Try to declare two values with some by assigning some other values to it. I mean, try to declare two variables by assigning some values to it. A is equal to 9, b equal to 8. Let's perform addition on it. Speed. So that's it. That's it in Python to perform addition. And in 2.7, we are using just the word print in order to print the value of a variables. But in case of Python 2. Python 3, we need to use this print statement as a function. I mean, print has been converted into function in Python 2.3, like print of a plus b, print of a plus b, c. So you can able to print the value of a variable in two ways, by using print as a statement and print as a function. All right. So let's also know, I mean, let's perform some subtraction. Sorry, minus b. That's it. 9 minus s is equal to 1. And also multiplication. Let's take some other values by creating some different variables. In Python, we can perform multiplication by using an operator star. So this was output. Now let's get to this division. One. So when we divided the dividend a by b, I mean 4 by 3, we'll get the value as 1. And the next one was modulus. So what is mean by modulus? Modulus is nothing but the remainder of the division operation. For example, a is equal to 45, b is equal to 6, and when you type a modulus b, so the output should be 3. So how we got the output as 3? When we divided 45 by 6, the actual the quotient was 6 sevens 42 and the remainder was 3. So that was the actual output. If you don't understand that, I'll show you. 6 45. So in division of general mathematics, if you divided 45 by 6, the value should be 7. 6 sevens 42, and the remainder should be 3. So this was the actual modulus. Now exponent. So what is meant by exponent? Exponent is nothing but x to the power of y. Okay, let's also try to give an example for this. Let's take a is equal to 4 and b is equal to 3. I'm sorry for that. A is equal to 4, b is equal to 3. So how you will implement the exponent functionality in Python? Simple. A double stack b. Why we declare b is equal to 4? B must be 3. Okay, whatever. 4 to the power of 4 is nothing but 256. So this is equal to 4 into 4 into 4 into 4. So this was the actual processing behind the exponent functionality. So what are assignment operators actually? Assignment operators are used to assign values to variables. And the different types of assignment values are is equaled, plus equaled, minus equaled, and so on until the exponent which I have seen in the past. Okay. Okay. Let's try this with examples. A equal to 5. So we have assigned a variable, we have assigned a value of 5 to a variable a. We are creating variable over here and assign a value to it. So this is all about assign value. Now let's check what is meant by plus equal to. It's nothing but it adds the right side value to the left side value and assign the result value to the left side value. Okay, let's see an example. A plus equal to 2. So the result should be 7. Let's print A. So how Python has calculated that? A plus equal to 2 is indirectly equals to A equal to A plus 2. So this statement was actually equal to A is equal to A plus 2. But in short terms, Python, we can able to notify Python in this manner. Let's check that. A is equal to 7. A is equal to A plus 2. A plus 2. Print A. So this was the output. So this is all about plus equal to, and similarly with minus equal to. If A is equal to 4, A minus equal to 1. So this is equal to A is equal to A minus 1. Since A is equal to 4, A is equal to 4 minus 1, which is nothing but 3. Print A. That's all. And that's all with the multiplication, and that's all with the division. Okay, if you want example, let's take another example then. Is equal to 4. A division equal to 2. The answer should be 2, which is nothing but 4 by 2, which is nothing but A by 2. Print A. Okay. Next, B is equal to 3. equal to 2. So here 3 into 2 is equal to 6. Print B. Okay, and now the modulus. As we have discussed just now, the modulus is nothing but the remainder of the division operation. Okay, let's initialize another variable called C. C is equal to 11. C modulus equal to 2. The answer should be 10. I mean, if we divide 11 by 2, the remainder was 1 actually. Okay, print C. So the remainder should be 1. Okay. Now the last one was exponential. Let's initialize another variable is equal to 3, and let's try to check 3 to the power of 4, which is nothing but 81, equal to 4. Print D. Yes, that's right. Okay, now we have got to know about assignment operators, and let's dig into bitwise operators. So what are bitwise operators? Bitwise operators compares values in binary formats. These operators work on integers. When performing bitwise operators on integers, initially these integers are converted into binary form, and then they'll use some comparison. Alright, so let's dig into it with some example. And the bitwise operators are and this symbol was called as binary AND, binary OR, and binary XOR, and binary complement. This is nothing but the negation, and binary left shift and binary right shift. Let's get to know first about this binary AND. Let's try to create two variables over here. A is equal to 19, B is equal to 18. So we initialized, or we created two variables with values 19 and 18. Let's perform a bitwise AND operators on these two variables, A and B. So the output was 18. How? So in the background, Python first converts this 19 and 18 into binary format and then performs the AND operation. Let's check what is the binary format of 19 first. How you can able to check that in Python? Simple. We have some function. So the binary format of A, which is nothing but 19, is 10011. Let's also know the binary format of B. Okay. Python compares these two binary formats over here and finds the resultant binary format, and then it converts that binary format into integer. Okay, so how it compares actually, how it performs AND operation with these binary formats. Okay, in case of AND, the resultant value will be 1 if both values are 1. Okay, let's try to understand this with an example. Let's copy this. So how Python performs the AND operation. The resultant value of 1 and 0, I mean the resultant comparison of two digits will be 1 if both digits are 1 in case of AND operation. For example, here 1 and 0 should be 0. Will come from start. 1 and 1 is 1, and 0 and 0 is 0. 0, 1 and 0. Sorry, it was 1 actually. So the resultant value should be 1 only if both comparison values are 1. Otherwise the value should be 0. For example, the both values over here, the both comparison values here are 1, and hence the resultant value was 1 in case of AND. Similarly with 1 and 1 is 1 and 1 and 0, since both are not ones and one value is 1 and one digit is 0, the resultant value should be 0. So initially Python got the result by comparing two binary formats of two integers as this one. So let's try to find out what was integer notation of these binary formats. So you can able to find the integer format of a binary digits by using a function called bin in Python. Bin of this one. Sorry, it's not bin actually. Bin is used to convert the integers into binary formats. If you want to convert the binary format to integers, so you need to use a function called integer, int. All right. So this is a value of 18 actually. All right. So this is a value of 18 actually. This is similar with OR operation. In case of OR operation, of course, we got to know about AND operation, and now let's know about this OR operation. So how Python compares two binary formats, two numbers actually. So for 19 and 18, these two are the binary formats, and Python initially compares the binary formats, and the resultant will be a binary. And this binary will be converted into integer. So now we got to know about AND, and let's know about OR. In case of binary OR, the resultant, the result will be 1 if at least one of the bit is 1. For example, previously the result will be 1 only if both values are 1, but in the case of OR, the result will be 1 if at least one of these comparison values was 1. Okay, and now the output will be 1. Since at least one of the about two values is 1, the value will be 1. 0, since no value is 1, 1, sorry, 1, and at least since at least one of the two comparison values is 1, the value will be 1. So this is the value of R, and now Python converts this binary format to integer. So let's check what was the value of A and R. Sorry. So the value should be 19 over here. All right. So this was all about binary OR. And what was about this binary XOR, binary XOR? Okay, XOR. In case of binary XOR, the result will be 1 if at least one bit is 1, but not both will be 1. Uh, when comparing these two values, at least one of the values should be 1. If both the value should be 1, the value should be 0 and the result should be 0. So this is a condition in XOR. Okay, let's deal with it. Since at least, if both should be 1, the value should be 0. 0, 0, 0. If both are 1, the value should be 0. If at least one value should be 1, if at least one value is 1, the resultant value should be 1. So this is a binary format when Python compares two integers 19 and 18. So what is the integer representation of this? A, B is 1. Okay. Let's check bin of 1. Okay. So the binary format of 1 was this one. So now we got to know about binary OR. Similarly with binary complement, in case of binary complement, when you okay, let's initialize another variable. A is equal to 9. So how you negate a value? It's nothing but A. So the negation of 9 is nothing but a, and you can also convert this minus 10 to 9 by using another negation like minus 10 negation back to 9. So this is all about Python complement or Python negation. So what is a left shift? Now we'll learn about left shift. Left shift is nothing but the left value is moved by number of bits left, I mean specified by right value. I mean the left value is moved left by the number of bits specified by right value. For example, let's take a is equal to 100. So what is the binary format of a? It's nothing but double one double zero and one double zero. When we apply left shift operators, I mean left shift operation on this variable a, let's check what was the result of this. Left shift 2. So what is the binary for? So the resultant integer was 400. Let's check the binary format of this 400. So you can able to see that now double one double zero one double zero double one double zero one double zero. So the value, the binary format has moved 2 digits left, 2 digits left by adding 2 digits right. So it has moved left actually. Now let's check about right shift. Let's initialize another variable. All right. Let's apply a right shift operation on this variable. Two. Was that really 25? Okay, let's check it. So initially we need to check what was the binary representation of B. B. Okay, so the binary representation of B was double one double zero one double zero. Let's check. I mean, we have applied the right shift operation on this variable B. So the result was 25. So let's check the binary representation of 25 and see whether those binary representation has been moved 2 digits right or not. 25. Yes. So double one double zero one. This binary digits has moved 2 digits right by deleting 0 comma 0 and 0. You can able to see the length of this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and here the length was only 5. That means it has moved 2 digits right